Here's a quick tutorial on how to use umodel viewer for Borderlands to view some models for cosplay or if you need detailed references. So you can download umodel viewer. It's just a couple files. When you open it up, it's going to come up with this prompt asking for the path to the game. Takes a little bit of searching to figure out which files are going to have what you're looking for, but they're all going to be located in your Steam drive. So I've got a whole hard drive dedicated just to Steam. If you go to the Steam drive, Steam, Steam apps, common, and then here's all your games. You can select, we're going to go with Borderlands 2. The general items are going to be under Willow Game. And then if you want something from the DLC, it's going to be in the DLC. They named everything off of different flowers. The one I'm looking for is an iris. So if we go into that, we open it, we hit OK. It's going to pull up this second window. This is where you're going to have to do trial and error and find. Maybe we can compile a list of all the different file locations. So I go in here under content, and I've searched through half of these to find this under Iris Hub Dynamic. One trick is look at the file size. Generally, these small ones aren't going to have any models or anything you're looking for. So I'm going to open up this dynamic one. It's to 2400. It's going to load up. Now, to use this, maybe full screen here, it's pretty simple. Well, it's probably complex, but I'm going to explain it and make it simple. Page up-down cycles through the different items. Basically, what you're going to want to do is just cycle through. You can find a lot of the texture maps are in here, but to get to the models, just keep cycling through, and you can hold it down. So now we've found some 3D models. So here's a door. Basic 3D operation, right-click, and you can zoom in and out with your mouse. Left click and you can spin it around, and then if you hold the middle mouse button you can reposition it. So if you were decided to build a door, you can you'd have all the details. If you want to zoom in, look underneath, if you load up the game and you were trying to see something that you're not going to see from the character's view, this works really well. So if we scroll through some more items, see if we can find a character. So here's a Tina. Not sure why it doesn't have the right texture map, but the principle is the same actually. Let's go over to Piston. So a couple things. Like I said, you can spin all around. You can see the different character. The lighting is fixed, so there's a way to get around that. I'll explain in a second. One thing you're going to do, the arrow keys. Up arrow changes the field of view. Down arrow flattens it. I think default it loads them in somewhere around 80 or 90. You're going to want to press the down arrow key to flatten it. Makes it more proportional. You can go front, take your screenshots, do your side. But what's really cool is, say you really needed the detail on his boot. Probably not going to be able to see this in the game as well, but in here, here's all the detail you want. So, for him, all this detail on his head, all that is real easy to find. And, like I said, you can zoom in and see all the details. So that's basically the simple way that I do to get reference. This is basically open all the time when I'm trying to model something or painting and referencing. If you hit the H key, it pulls up this help menu, gives you a little bit more information. You can export these models. They export in a weird format that you have to use some different plugins to convert to get the actual 3D model. Some people have done that if you're trying to 3D print things. I've played with that, but it's honestly easier to just use the reference and remodel something if you're making a weapon, because then you can design it to be printed, versus the game files are, they have to look good in the game. They don't have to be printable. But you can export it. I can't figure out how to get them into Maya with color. I'm sure there's other people, but just for reference, this works perfect. Another kind of fun thing you can do is loop through animations. So if we hit the Control A, in the lower right, you're going to see it tells you the animation name and then which ones they are. Fun fact, different animations you can map to the wrong type of characters. So I'm going to pull up here. So I'm just hitting Control A and cycling through. So here is Tiny Tina's animations on Piston. If we hit the close bracket key, we're now on animation 1, animation 2. If we hit spacebar, it plays through the animation. This is useful because you can press spacebar and then hit the period button, and you can cycle frame by frame. So the reason this is useful is now, because he's spun around and I paused it on the back, the lighting is now really good on his back, so I can zoom in, and if I was trying to get all this detail, the lighting's better. And then it's just kind of fun to see, play with different characters doing animations that they were never meant to do. So if we go over again, here is Piston being Tina. And again, you can hit Control A and cycle through. So bandits. So here's Piston's actual animations. And again, it's the close bracket key. We'll cycle through, and it tells you which one. So here's his running to the left, running to the right, sprinting. And I mean, you can also hit X and it loops through, and then you can spin around and view. And then we can stop. And that's basically it. Like I said, it's the hardest part is finding which file has the model you're looking for, and then just cycling through, and now you can have all the reference you want. Hope this helped. If anybody has any questions, let me know.